Yo, what's up, Devin? I like that's a cool spelling. Yeah, let me grab some water real quick. All right, well, we're letting a few people get in here and then we'll start. You want me to explain that? Okay. Yeah, I'll explain that. Just letting a few people get in here. We'll run this live stream for like probably 20 minutes or so, answer a few questions, and then we'll hop off before my video releases. So, how's it going, guys? All right, we'll go ahead and get started here. Uh, turn down my Spotify a little. So, passed my first funded account. That's sweet. Congrats. That's awesome. So really what I'm going to talk about today is I was a little bearish bias going into today. So I want to talk about why and then when I realized I was wrong. So we can learn from that, right? Um, so we'll go here. We don't even need to look at ES actually. So my reasoning will actually pull up DXY, right? I was just looking for DXY to take this high, right? And what that would do, bullish DXY, bearish indices reach a little bit lower, right? I don't like this range right here, right? We have a huge range day Thursday, fail to displace under this, and then we reach back in, right? Why would I be okay with a reversal there? Well, looking for this whole range here, we're back into a premium, right? So if we we're going to reverse, that's fine. So I see that when I come on the charts, we can't, well, it's kind of messy, but we were below previous day low, right? So we already took previous day high, or below previous day high. We already took previous day high, came back in the range. So then I went to the hourly chart, and what I saw here was, okay, we have an hourly fair value gap plus an order block. London puts in this manipulation, drops down, retracement. So I was looking for a New York continuation lower, 2.5, and then my fourth standard deviation lines up fairly nicely with these failure swings down here and yesterday's low, right? So that was kind of my idea going in. But when did I know I was wrong? So we'll go ahead and replay it actually because it makes a little more sense. So if I'm going to want this to become an order block, I want to see price close below this low, right? Displace close below. Displace close below, retest the order block, goes lower. What happens on this next candle? We can't close below here or back right here, right? we're back into this range. So that was a little, you know, telling that, okay, downside's not great, right? And so then the only thing I was really looking for was, okay, this is kind of my last hope, I would say. I marked out the mean threshold of the order block, and then we have, this would be just inducement, right? 5-minute fair value gap. Very shallow reach into it. So if we fail to take here, come back down, and we'd see what happens, right? But we just displace right through that, right? And then the only other thing was, we'll go back to the 5-minute because this is what someone in chat wanted me to explain, was if we were going to get a continuation lower, I was going to want to see that on this next candle here. So why is that? Well, it's hard to show the hourly what it looked like then, but the hourly, if we would have dropped down here, that would have given us our close below, validating this order block, right? So what I would have wanted to see is we have a high, this puts in a low, higher high. So if this next candle puts in a lower low, this becomes a breaker, or this becomes an order block, right? So I'd want to see price displace and close below. What happens? Nothing. Test this area here. And you can see, here was the candle that I was watching. What did it do? Didn't close below, came back in the range. So that's kind of showing me now that it's wrong. Where is it likely to go? Higher, right? And you can see we retest that area before we move higher. So that's why, like, even I had the wrong bias this morning, which I didn't really expect to trade just because I prefer to see 8:30 news, right? So I'm expecting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to be a little better. But even with the wrong bias, right, lower time frames aren't clean enough to give a setup for me. And then, you know, we're ripping higher, which is fine. How did you know it's not going to retrace to premium before? Not exactly sure what you mean. Like, if we take this high, we're not coming, like, generally if we displace through this, we're not coming back. And that's because that's intermediate term structure on an hourly chart, right? So we break this, we're likely to go higher. But the main thing that told me was fair value gap can't displace below this low, right? I was personally, you know, at least looking just for that, but that didn't happen. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to hop on and talk about. So really, it's, if you've watched my intraday bias video or bias video, there's one candle that kind of changed it for me, and that was just that one. Right? So that was kind of all I wanted to talk about, unless you guys have questions. We'll have 10 or so minutes left, and then I'll hop off. So I'm just not a fan of the daily chart, right? Mainly. University, it's all right. We started classes. Some of them are fun. Some of them aren't. I mean, it's university, so it's obviously a lot of work, but yeah, it doesn't look like anyone else has questions. It did tag a breaker before it went up. I mean, yeah, so you have that, which would have been fine if that was like my bias, right? I mean, yeah, I don't generally flip like that. And I prefer to be in prior to 9:30, so. But yeah, so that's, yeah, could have used that. What time frames? Do you use most for intraday bias? Hourly chart. This bias stuff is not mentioned in ICT. I was wondering if you picked it up, obviously. So if you dig into ICT videos, really the main concept or what he tries to push across is not entry patterns or stuff like that, right? Like that's just pattern trading. Where ICT is actually good is when you actually use it to find narrative or bias, which you can find, deeper into ICT or a mentor. And in my case, like the MMXM trader mentored me. So that's where I learned a lot of my narrative and bias like that. Um, I don't use H4 for my bias. If you watch my video that releases in 45 minutes, that's exactly how I trade. And so like when someone asks a question like, what are your thoughts on this structure? And they show me a 5-minute chart, it'll do something like this, right? They'll just choose something like this. And they'll be like, oh, that, right? And then they'll watch this. Oh, why did it, get taken before we move down? Well, it's like you're missing higher time frame narrative, bias, time, all that, right? So that's one thing. Like if people ask me questions like, "What are your thoughts on?" It's usually like a little send a like, random 15-minute chart, and I'm like, "Well, I have no idea what's going on," because entries are the least important part. So why do I prefer to be in by 9:30? Well, when do you get expansion? What time does this expansion come? It's not very hard to see every day. Everyone's always searching for macros and stuff, but okay, cool. 9:30. So, unless I'm going to enter into this expansion at some point, I would prefer to be in prior to this expansion, right? For the move. So, like for example, if we go back to last Thursday, right? I talk about this entry in my video, but where did I enter last Thursday? Right here on this candle. Why? Because that's in prior to the expansion. If you study AM Trade's Twitter, you'll learn a lot from that stuff. Um, I see indices are manipulating a community right now, and they'll go bearish. If you guys watch my video today, you'll know, like, I'm not trying to predict, like, yeah, if you saw Euro the other week, I predicted that price action. But, like, I'm not trying to predict a lot of the days, right? I'm just waiting for one day to tell me what it wants to do, and then I trade it. Like, you guys, you can have fun predicting, oh, we're gonna go here, or oh, we're gonna drop back down into here, whatever. I'm just gonna wait for my setup to appear and then take it. I don't really care about knowing everything. Yeah, we have this SMT. That was added confluence on Thursday for the short. Kai Ming, you'll have to go study some examples of my trades. Well, examples in those videos, and you'll see how I enter. But I posted a pretty controversial tweet about order blocks and fair value gaps, so, you can do with that what you will. Yeah, I only traded PM session. Explain last Thursday's entry. I do that in the video. What's up, Pickle? Yeah, I explained last Thursday's entry in the video, which drops in 40 minutes. So I'm not gonna explain it on this when I explain it on the video. Surprised I didn't get banned for that tweet. Like here, let's see. I'll find the tweet and screenshot it real quick. So yeah, this is all the tweet was. Yeah. But that's all I said. And if you notice, when was this? August 24th. You can go take a look at the day and you'll see some stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of people that disagreed, obviously. No, I sleep during London session. So, you love the controversial tweets. I tried not to be controversial on Twitter and just stay in my own lane and don't talk to anyone. But yeah, if you like let's see. The last I'd say 8 trades, I haven't taken a fair value gap entry. So, do you anticipate the high of last week broke? Yeah, that's up to you guys to figure out. I'm not speculating right now. I missed the morning expansion, so like there's nothing for me to try to do here, right? So when I'm wrong or if I miss it, like I just hop off. There's nothing for me to do. Where a lot of people get in trouble is they're like, oh, well, I need to, I think it's going to go for this high, so I'm going to catch it now. Like, yeah, maybe it does go for the high. What if like, how do you manage your risk there, right? Everyone has different risk parameters, but how about EU? I mean, I can take a look, but let's go out to the daily. I mean, get rid of some of this stuff. Just, I mean, what do we have Friday? Inside day Monday. Sweeps both sides. I'm not very interested, but where are we at now? Order block. Yeah, get giga chatted because DXY just tanked. Yeah, nah, I'm good. You guys can watch that. I'm not. People don't understand the wisdom of the man, the myth, the monkey. It's funny. Um, no, I'm not gonna look at your open positions. That's not what I'm here for. So, I mean, it either seeks liquidity or seeks to reprice an inefficiency, right? So an imbalance. But that's like up to you to figure out. Like you have to study and see like how do you like to trade. I like to trade a certain way, right, with that. But I mean, if that's what you want to be aware of is previous week's high, that's cool. I personally have an exact like a time zone that I look for a certain entry, and if I miss that, then that's it. So that's why, like I already stated, I'm done for the day. Yeah. Did I miss my trade? No, my trade was never validated, so I never entered. And I was wrong on bias. I mean, this candle was the reason that I didn't really care for price action. One, I would have preferred this candle to reach below this low, close, or this candle reach below close, but it didn't. And if you've watched my bias video, you know what does that mean. Profitability doesn't come from something in a Discord, so. Oh, you just joined the stream today? Yeah. If you think more info is going to make you profitable, hate to break it to you. I'll do a very quick tutorial on order flow. Very easy one is euro. All right. Ready? We're going to look right here. Which way is euro going? Down. What does that mean? Order flow? Bearish. Awesome. So, up close candles when close blows should be respected or reaching back into a premium, right? There we go. Quick lesson on order flow. Days like this could have ruined me in the past. Glad to sit on the sidelines. Yeah. I mean, you're never always going to be right on something, right? And that's what journaling's for. You learn from your mistakes. So, let's see. There's some tags. Alright. Like, personally here, I would have preferred us to leave previous, like if I was going to be bullish, this is what I mean, like, I don't have a whole lot off the daily chart to base it, so a lot of it is like daily profile stuff. I would have preferred London swing to New York open reversal, which we kind of had, but I would have preferred that before taking previous day highs. So if we go to the hourly, I would have preferred this, right? We'll just replay too. I'll mark out London actually. Right, so here's previous day high. I would have preferred the profile to look like this. Right? So I would have wanted something like this, and it would have been maybe changed my bias. Right? Because then we don't take previous day high prior to, because that was like really what I based the short bias off of. But if we would have left that as a failure swing, and then, you know, could even shorten this up. Right, then that would have made more sense to me. But didn't happen, right? Because what do we do? Took London. I see this as a change in order flow. Right? Intermediate term high. But then we never close below here. So this is like the main candle that told everything. So that's why I prefer days where I just have like a really easy, strong daily bias, because they're really easy. You said learning more doesn't make you profitable, so what makes you profitable? Risk management? Mindset? Can you follow rules? Most people struggle because they literally just can't follow their own rules. Like that's literally what it comes down to. Think about of a time where you like blew a portfolio or something. What'd you do? It probably wasn't following your rules and doing that. You probably went on tilt after taking a loss, and then you over leveraged or broke a rule. I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I mean, for like 95% of the people, that's probably what happened. What happened is like, so let's go through today's price action, let's say. they'll, let's say someone's long bias here, right? And they're long into here. What happens? Oh, they get stopped out here, right? Oh no, well now my bias was wrong, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip short, and then they just get wrecked, right? And then what they do is on the second trade, they over leverage to try to get this one back, right? Versus just following their rules. And I think most of it stems from the lack of understanding of statistics and probabilities. But yeah, why why am I attacking you? Dude, I mean, I feel like everyone had that lesson at some point. The difference between someone whose path looks like this, right? Right, on like a trader's path, right? And someone that just looks like this, right? Is you see everyone has little drawdowns, right? What does this person do? Well, let's say they blew that portfolio. What did they do? They journaled this down. They learned from their mistakes. So then they don't make the same mistake again, right? They're not going to over leverage because why? Because it caused them pain, right? They don't want to feel pain again. So they learn from their mistakes. They're not going to do it again, right? Oh, they learn a new mistake, but they improve, learn a new mistake, learn a mistake, and you move up. What does this person do? Well, they get this loss. They feel all that pain. What do? They keep making the same mistake because they just can't be disciplined. It's literally what happens. Risk management. I mean, I can talk about it in another video, but yeah, we'll talk about that in another video. Yeah, Mark Douglas is good. There's many different books too. I mean, a lot of the books that helped me were not even like trading mindset books. So, also like a lot of people, right? They'll see this move and then they'll feel FOMO, right? And they'll try to get in. Well, what happens is like, okay, let's say someone did that, they got in here, whatever, and they got a winning trade. Like, awesome, right? Now you're getting rewarded for acting on your emotions, right? On your FOMO. So then like you learn, you're like, oh, that's good because, I'll make money, or yeah, it worked out. Well, then the next time you act on it, what happens is like you just get a fat reversal here. And then oh, that leads to tilt. You're like, why didn't it work this time? So it's like a lot of people don't also journal down stuff. Like if people were to just journal down their emotions, what they were feeling, what they did wrong, all that stuff, it'd actually like improve. But the thing is, this is what happens. Ready? Let's say someone, I don't even know. Say someone like shorted in here somewhere and took a loss, right? Instead of journaling it down and learning from this, right? Why did this happen, right? Why was I wrong? They just blow it off. They're like, oh, whatever. I'm not going to focus on it. They don't journal it. They don't learn from it. Nothing, right? And then when they get a winner, they like focus on it and learn from it. Why are you trying to learn so much from your winners? You were right. Like, if you're right, there's not a whole lot to learn from there. Versus on your losers, you can actually learn stuff. But people are so emotional that they don't want to focus on losing, when in reality, that's what makes you better. So, have you seen the trader interview of BFP to Stoke? No. What's my bread and butter setup? The MMXM trader setup. I'm not gonna like teach that because that's from his course and stuff he taught me in private mentorship. So like out of respect for him, I'm not just gonna go like teach it on YouTube, you know what I mean? So looks like some people are leaving. Real quick, let me do this real quick. Actually, I don't even need to do that. Wait, give me a sec. We'll come back. I'm gonna go make some breakfast. But if you guys wouldn't mind, go ahead and in 30 minutes I'll be in the live stream chat for my main channel. So Eugene, I've been doing really good last few months. I follow my rules and I find myself stuck into the lower time frame. Well, when you gotta like be disciplined. Like I can't tell you how to fix yourself. Like that's a personal thing. You gotta realize what triggers. Everyone focuses on what happened instead of what triggers what happens, right? So everyone focuses on tilt, but what you need to do is focus on why did I get the tilt, right? What triggered the tilt? So people will be like, "Oh, I just went on tilt. How do I fix that?" Well, like I don't know. What made you go on tilt? Was it a loss? Was it oversizing? Was it, you know what I mean? Tilt. You can look that up on Google. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. I would really appreciate it if you guys could show up to the premiere in about 35 or 25 minutes. I put the link in the chat, but figured I'd hop on and show you guys what it looks like when I'm wrong, right? Most people would feel a lot of FOMO because they're like, oh, I missed out on 250 points. I genuinely don't care. So school, doing all right. I got one pretty cool class. We'll learn some pretty advanced option strategies, stuff like that. So I think I could implement it into my long-term portfolio, or at least that's the goal. So yeah, maybe I will when I have some time. What's for breakfast? Um, maybe some salmon, eggs, or if not, like some turkey eggs, carrots. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I eat. Let's see if I have one more question. What am I studying? Business finance. But we'll go ahead and actually hop off. I say that all the time. Seems like it goes to previous week high. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I personally don't catch the expansion move, I'm off. So we'll find out later when I journal and look back and see what happens. So, but I'll see you guys all later, and you have a great rest of your day. Well, I'll see you guys in the stream hopefully.